Welcome to today's session. So we are speaking for the final year students, 5th semester, and we were speaking about grammar as a part of the foundation course for campus recruitment training. So let's begin. We are still talking about the second pillar of essential communication, which is grammar. I finished certain parts of speech in terms of noun, pronoun, adjective, verb. I explained what verb is and how it should be in sync with tense. Okay. So like I said in the last session, verb should always be in sync with tense because an action should always complement a time when it took place. So I've put together certain questions. This is in continuation with what we did before. We'll quickly look at these questions and pick the right answer. Question number 16, students at school dash books for their course. Students at school given, give, are given, gives books for their course. So option C is the correct answer because the students have been given the books. So students are at school are given books for their courses. Number 17, those boys look like their fathers. Now here their T-H-E-I-R and T-H-E-R-E. His is not correct because here we have plural form of the subject. So his is not correct. T-H-E-I-R pronoun. This is the right option. Classes are sometimes dash Thursday. Held at, hold on, held on. I already explained preposition in terms of days. It should be held on Thursday. He will dash medical studies next year, which means he will finish his medical studies. Option A is the correct answer. Option B is not appropriate in this particular context. Finish there. Now this is also not correct. Finishes. Why should not we use finishes instead of finish? This is in terms of a subject verb agreement, which I will talk about soon. So here these are some of the questions that we looked at earlier. I'm going to pick some new questions for grammar for your quick reference and understanding. Here is the first one. The small child does whatever his father was done. So we need to replace the underlined word with one of the options. So what is the correct option for the first one? The small child does whatever his father was done. Was done is incorrect. Whatever his father did. Did is the correct answer. The man to who I sold. So who is an incorrect word here. It should be to whom I sold. So option D is the correct answer. The man to whom I sold my house was a cheat. Question number 3. They were all shocked at his failure in the competition. They were shocked at all. No, at all is not the right placement of words. The word order is incorrect. They had all shocked at. They had all shocked by. They had been all shocked on. Now none of these options are correct. So we'll pick option number E, which says no correction required. They were all shocked at his failure in the competition. Number 4. Why should the candidates be afraid of English language is not clear. Why the candidates should be afraid? Why do the candidates be afraid? Why should be the candidates be afraid? Now option C is not correct as well because there are two B's which is not needed. So why should the candidates be afraid of English language is not clear. The statement itself is accurate grammatically, so no correction required. Number 5. He found the gold coin as he cleans the floor. Now while he was cleaning the floor, he found. This found is a past tense form. So it should be he found the gold coin while he was cleaning. So while cleaning the floor. So option D is the correct answer. As he had cleaned the floor, that is not appropriate. So option D is the correct answer. He found the gold coin while cleaning the floor. Because it's talking about a past continuous tense. This is a past tense, so while cleaning the floor, option D is the correct answer. Question number 6. Because of his mastery in this field, he suggests his suggestions are wide accepted. Now, when I have this wide accepted, this is a verb. Now, wide is an adjective. I need an adverb here. Say for example, I have this particular word. Let me change the format of this so that I can type for your reference. Okay. So, the second word is a verb. The first word needs to be an adverb. For example, widely accepted. So, I have this verb, I cannot have an adjective, I need to add an adverb. Adverb is something that defines the verb, all right. So, because of his mastery in this field, his suggestions are widely accepted. So, option A is the correct answer. Number 7, we met him immediately after the session in which he had been given a nice speech. When you say he had been given, that means he received the speech. But in this particular context, it means he gave a nice speech. So, we met him immediately. We met him means it's a past tense. We met him immediately after the session in which he pick the correct answer here. He would be giving, he has been given, he will have given, he had given. So, option D is the correct answer, in which he had given a nice speech. Number 8, we were still standing in the queue when the film was beginning. Now, the film was beginning is incorrect. When the film began, option A is the correct answer. We were still standing in the queue when the film began. If I would have realized the nature of this job earlier, I would not have accepted it. Now, I cannot start this with if. It means the if is a wrong word here. So, I need to pick had. Had I known or had I realized, sorry, option D is the correct answer. Had I realized the nature of job earlier, I would not have accepted it. Had I known or had I realized is the correct answer, option D. Number 10, they failed in their attempt to repair the demolished portion of the building. They failed for their attempt to repair. In their attempting to repair, no, attempting is incorrect because it's a perfect past tense. So, they failed in their attempt to repair the demolished portion of the building. Option E is the correct answer. We don't need any correction here, all right. So, parts of speech again. So, these are the parts of speech. Now, I am going to talk about the subject-verb agreement. What do we mean by subject-verb agreement? Subject-verb agreement basically means if my subject is singular, my verb should be singular. Likewise, if my subject is plural, my verb should be plural. So, if you see this Superman symbol, it basically means wherever I have a singular verb, for example, he, she or it, my verb will have S in the end. Okay. So, let me quickly give you the example. What do I mean by this? So, please remember this rule. Now, if you look at, let me highlight this. If the subject is singular, the verb should end with S. Now, let me give you examples for these, all right. For example, he So if you focus here, all these subjects are singular. Okay. Let me change the color for help you identify the subject here. So he is a singular, she is singular, it is singular. So wherever and these words are verb. So I am going to mark this in green. So wherever you have a singular singular subject, your verb will add an S in the end. Now if I change this particular subject to plural form, say for example, so if my subject is plural, I need to drop the S. They play cricket, they play piano. Alright, so for example, if I have two sentences with singular as well as plural verb, for example, so let me put it this way. You need to pick the right subject from these two options. The captain and the players is or are tired. Now this particular subject, there are two subjects here. What do we mean by subject? Subject is the noun which is conducting the action, which is responsible for the action. The captain and the players. Now players is plural, captain is singular. But I am using this word which is a conjunction. When I am using and, basically I am using this subject and I am adding this subject. For example, if this subject is also singular, I am still adding one captain plus one player equals 2, which is plural, and I will say are. The captain and the players and the player are tired. Now if I replace this with or, the captain or the player is tired. Now when you have this or, why would you use is? Because you need to look at the subject which is closest to the verb. So this particular subject is closest to the verb, that's why you will choose is. What if I replace this with a plural form? The captain or the players, now it will become are tired. If I make this as plural, the captains or the players are tired. But if I make this singular, the captains or, the moment I use or, I am breaking it. Even though this particular subject is plural, but the subject closest to the verb is singular. So I will use a singular form. I will use is. The captains or the player is tired. Because I am using or, when I use or, I can just take it as a separate sentence. The player is tired. Now let me interchange. The captain or the players, now I will say this as are. Because since I am using or, I can just say the players are tired. So that's about subject verb agreement. The subject should be in agreement with the verb. That's very, very important. Now if I have word like everyone, someone, none, everybody, somebody, nobody, everything, something, nothing. If I have these words, these are considered as singular only. Alright. So everyone is happy, someone is happy, none is happy, everybody is coming, somebody is coming, nobody is coming, everything is fine, something is not okay, nothing is bad. So all this is considered as a singular form only. Okay. Remember this is very, very important in terms of your grammar. Subject verb agreement is where a lot of people make mistakes on. All right. I've given the same examples here, the players and the umpire. Now when I say and, I'm combining these two subjects, the players as well as umpire. This is singular, this is plural, but that's okay. When I'm using and, I'm joining them. So it's is or are. If I say the players or the umpire, now the closest to this option of verb, this subject is singular. So I will use the umpire is tired. All right. So lot of questions I gave here earlier. So some of these questions does have subject verb related questions. So whatever understanding that you need in terms of subject verb agreement, just follow that simple principle that I showed you here. If the subject is singular, the verb is singular. If the subject is plural, the verb is plural. All right, that's what you need to remember. All right, moving on, we are heading to the third pillar of essential communication, which is vocabulary. All right, now what do we mean by vocabulary? It's a set of words within a language that are familiar to the person. It's basically a bank of words where you understand the context, the synonym and antonyms. Okay. Now, why do we fail to be good in terms of vocabulary? How does it impact? It impacts because of lack of word bank, lack of understanding of synonyms. Synonyms is basically substitute words, similar words, lack of reading and writing practice, and comprehension of common words. What do we mean by comprehension of common words? Say for example, I'm going to list down certain words. Okay, I've written a couple of words here. What do we mean by Oracle? What do we mean by Cognizant? Everybody says it's a name of a company, but Oracle also has a meaning. To students, when I ask what do we mean by Oracle, they usually say that it's a name of a company, or Cognizant, it's a name of a company. But the fact of the matter is both have specific meaning. For example, Oracle, the word Oracle means thank you. The word Oracle means prediction, a voice from the sky. All right. Say for example, there is a prediction that happens or any kind of prediction or prophecy like we call it. All right. Like prophets, they make a prophecy as to what's going to happen in the future. That is what Oracle is all about. What do we mean by Cognizant? Cognizant means being aware. Okay. So that's the meaning. So we do not really understand the meaning, but we just know these words. At the same point, we know a lot of objects, but we don't know the meaning of it. Say for example, the VIP card, there is a light on top of it. What is that called? Everybody calls it a siren. Siren is something that you hear, the horn. But I'm talking about the light which you see. That light is called a beacon, B-E-A-C-O-N. Likewise, there are a lot of words we don't really understand the context of it. We end up using the same words over and over again without understanding the overusage of it. Say for example, we have word which is surely, mandatory, I'm showing the screen, please. Okay. So let me add one more. So there are 4 words I have written: surely, mandatory, compulsory, definitely. Now surely is used, or let me add one more, which is certainly. Now all these mean the same, but the usage is different. Say for example, surely. When do you use surely? You use surely when you are sure about something. When do you use mandatory? Mandatory you use when it's mandated. For example, it's mandatory to carry your election card when you vote for a candidate during elections, because it's mandated. What do we mean by compulsory? Compulsory is used when somebody is compelled to do something. For example, it's compulsory to attend 75% of your classes in order to appear for an exam. It's a compulsion. Definitely means when you are definite about something. Certainly means obviously when you are certain about something. So there are 5 words that I have mentioned. What are they? Surely, mandatory, compulsory, definitely, certainly. Instead of using these words in different contexts, people usually use compulsory for everything. Will the doctor come today? Compulsory he will come. Will the bus come at 5? Compulsory it will come. Do I have to work hard to progress in my career? It's compulsory. It's not compulsory, it's a choice. So you got to be definite about something, you got to be sure about something. For example, will you meet me today? Compulsory I will meet. How can it be compulsory? It's a choice that you make. So you can say surely I will meet. But instead of using these words, we use only one word over and over again, and we don't understand the usage of it. Say for example, people usually have this tendency of writing or speaking in a word when they ask a question. Can you able to attend the meeting? Or they respond, I can't able to attend the meeting. This can is basically mean ability. So can you able to, this able is a redundancy. You don't need that word. Can you attend the meeting? I can't attend the meeting. It's as simple as that. So please don't add can and able together. It's a redundancy, it's of no use. So people use unnecessary words when they speak or when they write. These words have no significance whatsoever. It's exactly like if I have to write this. Can you draw a round circle? Now, a circle is round. I don't have to say round circle. For example, people usually make mistake when they say children are innocents. Children are innocents. So you don't have to mention that. All right. So it's exactly like saying that can you give me liquid water? Water is liquid. So you don't have to add another word to it to make define the state of it. Likewise, when you use can and able together, that's exactly how it sounds very stupid because it does not make sense. So please don't make these mistakes. All right. Another example which I could think of in terms of lack of understanding is if I have to use these words. Okay. So I have 3 words here: fake, duplicate, counterfeit. All right. Now these 3 are used in different contexts. For example, if people use the word fake for currency, it's wrong. You cannot be using the word currency for fake. Let me correct this. Currency is not fake. Currency is, if you have a currency which is not the authentic one, it's used as counterfeit currency. Duplicate is used for key. For example, I lost my keys, please give me a duplicate key. Fake is used for documents. For example, certificates, bonds, all these, when you have these nouns or these objects, that's when you use fake. So let me interchange this. So, if you have a document and those kind of stuff, you will use the word fake. Okay. If you have, now let me interchange this. If you have something like a key, you will use the word duplicate. If you have currency, you will use the word counterfeit. Okay. Likewise, people usually use a wrong word to define something. For example, during an interview, when I ask about education background, they say I passed out in 2014. Now, passed out, I'll tell you what is the meaning of pass out. Okay. So, pass out means fainting, pass away means to die. So, when you say pass out in 2015, that means you fainted in 2015. Then what exactly are you supposed to say? You are supposed to say I graduated in 2015, or I completed my graduation in 2015, or finished my graduation in 2015. The best way to define your education background is to say I graduated in 2015. Please don't use the word pass out. Pass out means fainting. That's an absolutely wrong usage of the word. All right. Likewise, we have the word which is expire. Now, expire, the word is used for medicines, for perishable items. So, for example, if you say my grandfather expired, that's a wrong usage. Expiry means when you're using it for an object. For a living organism, for a living person, anything that has life in it, you usually use the word die. So, you can say my grandfather died or my grandfather passed away. Okay? So, don't use the word expire. Expire is a wrong word. Lot of people even put newspaper obituaries with an announcement, date of birth and date of expiry. Date of expiry is something you can predict, because medicines have date of expiry, perishable goods have date of expiry. So, don't make these mistakes. Understand the usage of these words and then start using these words for various purposes, understanding the context of it. All right. Then how do you make yourself better in terms of vocabulary? You need to read regularly, you need to listen a lot of people who speak well, make use of the dictionary and thesaurus. Dictionary gives you the meaning, thesaurus gives you the synonym. And you should always pay attention to learning a new word every day in order to understand the comprehension, you understand the word, you understand the context of it, and you also understand the usage of it. And you should have the practice of writing. All right. Some quick practice questions for us to understand what do we mean by vocabulary. Hardness, now this is basically you need to fill the blank with one of the words. Hardness is a dash of steel. Is it a property of steel, substance of steel, material of steel, structure of steel? Look at these options, understand the context and pick the right answer. Hardness is a property of steel. The steel has various properties. Hardness is one among them. Number 2, food such as bread and rice dash energy for the body. They control the energy, they lose energy, they prevent energy, they provide energy. Provide means to give. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Number 3, the tissues, organs and systems of a body dash the living organism. it doesn't consist of the living organism. If you choose option A, it means every tissue has a living organism. No, it's the other way around. Every living organism has tissues, organs and systems. So, option C is the correct answer, sorry, option B is the correct answer. The tissues, organs and systems of a body constitute the living organism, which means every living organism has those three elements mentioned. Number 4, the door was so dash that the X-ray machine would not go through it, means the X-ray machine is too wide, which means the door was too thin, the door was close, the door was minor, the door was narrow. The correct answer is narrow. The word narrow is appropriate because it's in terms of the width. So, the narrow is what is the correct option. Before Muhammad repaired the engine, he dashed it carefully. He recognized it carefully, he examined it carefully, he saw it carefully, he cited it carefully. Of course, option B is the correct answer. He examined it carefully. Question number 6. The upper part of the leg is called the jaw, the scalp, the thigh, the ankle. The correct answer is option C. The upper part of the leg is called thigh. The lower part is called an ankle. Alright. So, between thigh and ankle what lies? It's a calf, C-A-L-F, calf. So, likewise there are various questions that I have put together to test the vocabulary skills. You may have questions of one word substitute. These are questions not from an exam perspective, but to test your knowledge, to build on your vocabulary. Having a good vocabulary is extremely important because when you are speaking to someone, you need to use the right kind of words in the right kind of context. Especially when you go for an interview, if you use a word which every candidate is using, I have talent, I have talent, I have talent, I have ability. Now, if one candidate uses the word competency, I have the required competency for this particular job. Now, you will not know the word until and unless you read, you practice, you write and you keep your eyes and ears open in terms of understanding the words, understanding the usage of the words as well as the context of the words. Alright. So, we will do reading practice, understanding words very soon in the next session. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you are using these learnings to the maximum usage. Please post your questions, whatever you have. I would love to take a look at it and provide you the answers. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.